how can we submit? What are we submitting? But submission comes from knowing what he is asking you to do. Hi guys, welcome back to another Bible chat. As you know, this series is called Coming to Christ, and today we will talk about living in submission. Let's get right into it. We are going to be in Psalms 2, verses 10 through 12. It reads, "Now then, you kings, act wisely. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with reverent heart and rejoice with trembling. Submit to God's royal Son, or he will be angry, and you will be destroyed in the midst of your activities. For his anger flares up in an instant, but what joy for all who take refuge in him." So in the previous episode, we did talk about how Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and how it is important for us to come to him because without him, we have no life, right? Here in verse 12, we can see it says, submit to God's royal Son, submit to Jesus, follow his way, know his truth, and be ready to submit to his will. And here is the important part. It says, or he will become angry. Let's just dive in part by part, really getting the understanding of what the word is trying to convey. Verse 10 says, "Now then, you kings, act wisely. Be warned, you rulers of the earth." In Genesis, when God created Adam, he told him that he was a ruler of earth. He told him that he has dominion over the animals, over the land, right? So when God created us, he created us to be rulers of the earth. He created us to be, as he said, "Now then, you kings, you queens, act wisely." What is wisdom? According to dictionary.com, wisdom is the quality or state of being wise, knowledge of what is true or right, coupled with judgment as to action, sagacity, discernment, or insight. And what is so important to point out here is that it says coupled. So it says having the knowledge of what is right and true. We know that Jesus is right. We know that God is true. Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. And it says the knowledge of what is true and what is right. But we cannot just stop there. We cannot just stop with having the knowledge, right? Because that's not wise. That's just knowledge. This definition literally says coupled with. Do you know what it means to be coupled with? That means togetherness. So that means we need to take our knowledge and add it with these things right here. Just judgment to actions, discernment, or insight. So not only do we have to know what is right, but we also have to do what is right. It says through our actions, through discernment, and through insight. You cannot just say, yes, Jesus is the way, but now we must live like it. Now we must, through our actions, through our discernment, through our insights, we must think like it. We must be like it. We cannot just say Jesus is Lord, but then we live like it means nothing. That is why verse 10 says, act wisely. To be wise is to know and to do. As followers of Christ, people shouldn't walk past us and think, wow, that was a really terrible person. Wow, that person is not nice. Wow, that person is rude. People shouldn't think that way about us, right? Because everything that we do should convey love. Everything that we do should convey Christ. Someone should walk up to us and literally feel like, wow, I felt love from this person. Wow, I felt embraced by this person. People should feel invited because of how we act. So let's move on to verse 11. It says, serve the Lord with reverent fear and rejoice with trembling. Recently, I just learned what it's like to really serve God and have fear of God, right? Because the fear of God really stops you from doing certain things that you're just like, because God ain't gonna like that. It really stops you. Like, seriously, I'm literally from Cleveland, and if you know anything about my background, y'all, I used to be from the ghetto, and I used to be the ghetto, okay? I didn't like mistreatment. I just didn't like mistreatment, right? But we know in the Bible that it says that if someone smacks your left cheek, then you're supposed to give them turn over so that they can have the right. And that's like, excuse me? Because who wants to do that? Okay, who wants to do that? But when you have true fear of the Lord, it's to do things with a mindset of, oh no, if I do that, God will be upset with me. God will punish me. God will not be happy with me. That is having true fear of God. A lot of the times when we hear fear of God, we think that we're supposed to be like so scared, like, oh my God, like a scary movie. But it's not. No. It's to have respect and reverence for him. In verse 11, it says, with reverent fear. Do you know what it is to have reverence for someone? Let's look at that definition too, y'all. Come on, we looking up definitions today. So I really like this AI definition of reverence. Reverence is a feeling of deep respect, awe, and admiration, often for something sacred, divine, or greatly esteemed, involving a humbling recognition of something greater than oneself. Humbling recognition. When we have a reverent fear of the Lord, we are humble. Okay, we are really humble because we're like, okay, I can't say that. Okay, I can't go there. Okay, I can't act like that. Okay, I can't reply to that. Because we have to humble ourselves, because we must know that if I do that, it's not what God would desire for me. It's not what God is asking me to do. So we must humble ourselves. I love that the definition of a reverence, it says deep admiration, deep respect, involving. And I love these two words. The first one, right, we had couple with, and now we have involving. So when it comes to wisdom, there's two parts of wisdom. When it comes to reverence, there's two parts of reverence. You can't just say, oh, I admire the Lord. Oh, I love the Lord. But then you don't involve that humbling recognition. We have to keep ourselves low so that he can be raised up. It says humbling recognition of something greater than oneself. So if we allow our flesh to always win and we're just doing whatever we want to do, then that's not being humble. That's just living according to the flesh. But when we submit to him, we have to humble ourselves and live according to the ways in which he desires for us to live. Let's continue with verse 12. Submit to God's royal son, or he will become angry, and you will be destroyed in the midst of your activities. For his anger flares up in an instant, but joy for all who take refuge in him. And this is the good news, because when it comes to Christ, there's always going to be good news, because it sounds like it's going to be difficult, right, to be able to submit and to be able to let go of yourself and humble yourself and do what is right. But here it says, first of all, if you do not submit, he will be angry and he will destroy you in your activities. Let me tell you guys something about God. No matter what you do, no matter what you have planned, God also has a plan for you. It is important that we go out and seek it, because as I'm talking about submission, sometimes it can be really difficult to understand. How can we submit? What are we submitting? But you must understand that the submission comes from knowing what he is asking you to do. If he's asking you to start a business, if he's asking you to go to school, if he's asking you to work at this job, if he's asking you to serve at this church, then you must do it wholeheartedly in any way that he said that you need to do it, even if it is something that you do not want to do. And a lot of the times, depending on how close you really are with God, he will give you the steps to do it. He will give you a temporary formula to do it. And I say temporary formula because just because it's the same formula that worked in this season doesn't mean it's going to be the same formula that works in next season. So you need to remain close to him and always seek out what it is that he needs for you. And that is part of submission. And listen to this. It says that if you do not submit in this way, then he will become angry. You will be destroyed in the midst of your activities. Me and my mom were just talking about this the other day, and we were saying without vision people perish. And this is quite literally saying the same thing, right? Because if God gives you the vision and God gives you the plan, but you decide, okay, I don't like that vision, I don't like that plan, I'm gonna go do it this way, I'm gonna go however I want to do it, then God is going to destroy you. It says it here. I'm not saying that out my mouth. I'm reading that from the word. You will be destroyed in the midst of your activities. Just as the other scriptures say, without vision, people perish. So even if God did give you a vision, but you decide to go follow a different way than what he decided for you, you will still perish. You will still be destroyed. It says if you do not, his anger will flare up in an instant. That means immediately, if he tell you to turn right and then you go left, now he's already angry with you. Now he's already about to kick you to the curb and go give that vision to somebody else. Because we know he does that too, from the parable that Jesus taught. He gave different amounts of talents to different people. And one person said, oh, I only have one talent, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go bury it and hide it. So he took his talent and gave it to the people who was using their talents. Don't be that person. Don't let God become so angry with you that he takes your talent and he gives it to someone else. No, be prepared to do everything that he asks you to do. Even if he gives you one talent, use your talent. Even if he gives you one vision, use your vision. Even if he just tells you one thing, submit to that one thing. Because if you don't, you will not be wise. You will have the knowledge of knowing that he is God, but because you did not couple that knowledge with doing, you will not reap the benefits of Christ. And I'm going to end with this. He says, but what joy for all who take refuge in him. He combines submission with refuge. You have taken place with me. You have seeking salvation with me. You have submitted to me. In verse 12, you can see how important that submission is connected to refuge to him. Because if you are not submitting to him, then you are not in refuge with him. You are not believing that he can save you. You are not believing that he will guide you. You are not believing that he is your salvation if you are not submitting to him. So it's important that we submit to Christ. I love you guys and I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hey guys, if you like this video and you want to see more Bible chats like this one, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends if it has been a blessing to you. I hope that this channel brings you to the light and to the way of Yahuwah, our Father who art in heaven. May him and his son, Yeshua, bless and barak you forever. We all love you. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.